Powered by Riverside.
There we go.
Yeah,
We're on it, folks.
feeling it.
Works. It works. What's going on?
Welcome to Beer,
Beer.
Skydiving Podcast.
Beer.
Yeah. How you doing, Joe?
I'm still hanging in there.
I would imagine that you are chomping at the bit. It is December.
It is. Let's see.
You're going to be doing something awesome soon.
A week from today, I'll be in Brasilia.
Dude, I can't tell you how jealous I am. The problem is I don't even really know how jealous I am because I've never base jumped. I can't comprehend. That's not true. I can comprehend what you're going to do, but I can't, I don't know what that experience is like. You know what I mean? And
Excuse me.
I'm super jealous to,
Well,
I want to do it. I'm jealous.
well, I'll let you know what it's like if I make it back.
You
I'm
think
just
there's
excited to go. I'm honestly just excited to go just so I can ignore work for 10 days, man.
Dude, I was thinking about it a couple of days ago. I haven't had a job in 7 years.
My lightings. Really?
Yeah, I retired 7 years ago.
Whatever, man.
Dude, I know I'm very lucky, all that crap, but that's insane. 7 years.
That's a long time, dude.
I know. That's
You're
almost a
probably used to
decade.
it now.
That's almost a decade.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, so for those maybe just jumping in on this episode, what Joe is going to go do? He's going to go huck himself off some cliffs in Brazil.
Yep. Doing some tracking.
Yeah, and your two-piece
base
suit.
tracking. Two-piece, powered by Phoenix Fly.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored by, but my two-piece is powered by Phoenix Fly.
So we know you're going to Brazil. You're flying into Rio. And what happens after you get to Rio? You got to travel somewhere? What's up?
Only laying over. We only have a connector in Rio, unfortunately. We're actually we'll fly into Victoria, and then we'll stay into Victoria for a night and a day, and then we'll head to our next destination. So the really cool thing is the hotel we're staying at is jumpable.
Right, you've said that.
Sweet. Yeah, so I gotta...
But the last time you mentioned that, you did not have your B in base. But now, can I say that you do?
Oh yeah, I definitely got it. Yeah.
Well,
all
yeah.
I need is
Well,
Earth,
I don't know
man.
if you're talking about it or not. So,
Oh, well, I'm not talking about the specific
but
exit, but I do have a B.
Yeah, since then you've jumped off a building, so now all you need is Earth.
That's it, man.
Nice.
And I could get it in Twin Falls if I wanted to, but I want it to be epic.
Or Moab or someplace like that. But,
yeah. No, I'm not ready for Moab yet, man.
Oh, what's the difference? Twin Falls is Prime, right? That's where the bridge is?
Yeah. I mean, they have one. There's one cliff that's called Jawbone that you can get
You can get your Earth from. All right.
Yeah.
So that would probably be, just based on what I've seen, I'm going to guess, much lower altitude, probably a PCA.
You mean exit height?
Yeah. Exit height. Then Moab. Moab, I would think is...
Oh, there's all sorts of different stuff in Moab, dude. There's stuff where people stack behind.
Like the most of the stuff that you see like on people's like Instagram and shit, like Turkey Boogie, the Earth exit at the Prime would be a lower exit altitude, I would imagine, than what they're doing at the Turkey Boogie in Moab. Or am I wrong?
No, no. It's I don't. There's. It just depends what exit you're at.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah.
There's different. There's ones where you just go and throw. There's some you can take a delay. There's some you can PCA off of static line.
All right. Yeah. I
Whatever
mean,
your flavor is. There's wingsuit exits out there
at Moab.
for very experienced. Yeah, it's Utah for very experienced
Yeah.
wingsuiters.
They're like 30-second wingsuit flights with super short starts. Right. Like they're right around there.
I don't know. I'd be lying if I said I knew exactly what
So,
has been jumped and how long the flights are.
so again, I'm going to bring up the Exit Point podcast. Their latest episode, which just came out yesterday, I think, they had on Moab Joe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know him, but yeah, I know who Moab Joe is.
Yeah. And he was saying all the wingsuit exits there are very short starts, 30-second flights. Like that's it. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Team
That's
USA.
that's the only reason. That's the only reason why I was able to spit that out, because I literally just heard it yesterday on a podcast.
I'd like to catch up on the Exit Point. It's a great podcast. My day's so filled with work, and then
I don't know what that's like, man.
it's straight to that.
So, what I wanted to ask you about Brazil is, you must know, like, where you're jumping. Like, you must know the exit points, right? Or don't you?
Me personally,
Yeah, like
I mean, I know where they are. I know what like city, town, village,
what they're
they're
called.
in.
Like they have names, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you willing to share that? Like, can you tell us
Yeah. You can
where
go
you're going to
on.
be jumping?
Yeah, you could even go on basewiththebobs.com and they'll give you the whole layout of what their Brazil coaching trip is.
Yeah, right. Because this is like a commercially available thing.
Yeah, basically. I mean, you got to meet some requirements, right? You got to have so many base jumps and etc.
Well, yeah. Minimum requirements to go.
You need to have at least 200 base jumps and 300 wingsuit jumps and be current on your current wingsuit, etc., etc.
All right.
You know.
So, how many jumps are you planning on doing?
It just depends. So, it's like skydiving is going to be weather dependent. So,
Sure.
the better the winds are and the better the weather is, probably the more jumps we'll get. I don't think they have enough specific number.
Are these all off of the same exit point? Like you hike up, jump, hike up again, jump.
So, like day one, we drive to. I'm going to butcher this. Itariana.
Some Portuguese word.
Yeah, so support. Yeah, so it's drive there. I think it's like a 3.5 hour drive from Victoria, and then they'll show us the LZ. We'll do some, PowerPoint presentation, rigging, inspection, and blah blah blah, and then jumps at 2:00. Everybody jumps so we can get in, and then so yeah, they have a whole itinerary.
I'm surprised it's sort of midday like that. Usually when you base jump, don't you want it to be like sort of early in the morning or later in the evening, just because of like winds and thermals and stuff?
You are talking to the not expert here, so that's why I'm going with somebody very credible, experienced, and reputable like the Bobs.
Well, there you go. But I've never done it, so I don't know. It just seems like that makes sense, but I might not know. So actually, I probably don't. So whatever.
Actually, sorry. The first day isn't the 3.5 hour drive. It's the let's see, what day is it? Oh, I might be wrong. Yeah, day one's travel. Okay, so. Probably down at the hotel. Everybody meet up, drive to where we're going, the first spot, and game on.
So maybe you should jump the hotel like the last day, Because what if you jump the hotel and then get arrested and then everything else is screwed?
Listen, I would assume that laws are probably a little more relaxed in Brazil as far as base jumping goes. I don't know.
Or maybe they see an American and they can, you know, fuck with you a lot.
Nah, dude. Um, so Blake, I met him. He did his first base jump course on the course that I took as a refresher, and he's just been hitting it up everywhere. So I mean, they've been down there, Brazil. Um, we've been in Switzerland, Thailand. It's
All right.
awesome. Yeah,
That's
so
where I want to go. I want to go to Switzerland and Italy.
me
I want to
too.
fly
And
the
if
I
I
want to
wouldn't
fly
have
the
broke my
Dolomites.
heel earlier this year, I would have made it.
Yeah, well, you know how you have to think about that? You have to think about that like there's a reason that I broke my heel.
Yeah, I fucked up.
Like, well, but maybe something would have went much like significantly more worse in Switzerland. Like
Yeah.
there's a reason. I'm not saying I'm like a whole like
Well, so
destiny type guy, but
yeah,
there's a reason.
yeah. So base jumping is considered illegal in Brazil, as most jumps from buildings, bridges, and natural formations require permission from landowners and authorities, which is generally not granted.
So maybe wait until the last day, or not. Whatever. It's up
Uh,
to you. But
I will take the advice of my mentors and coaches.
Scotty Bob. All right. I realize that this is probably premature, but do you have any other plans for base jumping trips in the next 2 to 3 years?
Probably eventually, but nothing like in the immediate future.
Concrete.
No.
All right.
Not in the immediate future.
Um,
I've blown a lot of money this year. In the end of last year, just getting this far back into the sport.
yeah.
So
well,
it's going to need a year or two to recoup.
When you are ready, hopefully I will have at least 1 year of base jumping under my belt, and I can say to my wife,
You better learn how to land that canopy.
dude, any landing you walk away from is a good landing.
Not true.
So that's
just
where
means
I'm at right now.
That just means you're getting away with shit.
Yeah, I agree
you're
with
not
you.
going to get away with it.
Yeah, I am getting away with shit. I do agree with you. My landings are awful, and I'm not honestly I'm not sure why. Like I feel like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. Um, it could be that my canopy's super old and maybe it just doesn't flare or have much authority left. But honestly, I just posted a picture on Facebook today about how I want to go jump, and one of the pictures was me flaring in my canopy, and it looks like it flares like a motherfucker. So I don't know. That might not be it. Maybe I just suck. Like that's also possible.
Dude, you also only have just over 100 jumps. You got to take that into consideration.
And like you said, once the brake lines were adjusted properly, I've got like 30 jumps on the canopy. So
give yourself some more time. Next season, make that your goal for next season.
Yeah, I might actually try to at the end of next season sell it and downsize. I should have 200 jumps by then, which would be about
188.
Yeah, go down to like a 168. Another pilot.
No.
Well, let me describe my reasoning.
It's probably going to be null and void, but go ahead.
All right, and I am willing to accept that. Maybe I'm being stupid, but I'm flying the 188 now. I've got about 60 jumps on it, 30 of them with brake lines adjusted properly. By the end of next year, I'll have about 150 jumps on it. So I'm planning on doing about 100 jumps next year. Um, at the end of that season, I was thinking about selling it because it is old. I'm gonna need to put new lines on it probably at the end of next year anyway, so I'm gonna have to put more money into it. So I was thinking what I would do is sell it, buy a brand new canopy, 168, which I should be able to fly. I mean,
A brand new 168. It's not that big of a downsize and a pilot too, but I mean,
you know,
if you're planning on
not
jumping the canopy all next season, then I could agree with that.
yeah,
You should be able to land whatever canopy you're flying now in any wind direction, in any wind condition, and stand it up where you want. But technically, before downsizing.
so I can put it where I want it. I don't always stand up.
So
I
you wanted to land in the high grass?
That was an anomaly. Okay, let me rephrase. 90% of the time.
Okay, it's got to be 100% of the time, dude.
Okay, fine. 90% of the time, I can put it where I
I
want
mean, you
it.
can do what you want.
Not always stand
These are
up.
just recommendations that
Yeah,
even the USPA has recommended, and instructors and
yeah, I know. But also, at some point, you have to weigh the pros and cons, right? Like, I've got a 21-year-old, essentially a 190, a 188, right? That may or may not have good flare authority and needs a new set of lines after another 100 jumps. Is it worth, you know, buying another 190 for $3,000?
what do you want to accomplish with downsizing? Just to downsize?
Uh,
I don't think I'll ever go lower than a 170.
yeah, that's a good question.
I've got
Um,
I almost got 1,000 jumps.
no, I think I want to. I think I want to downsize uh, just because I really haven't. You know.
So you just want to downsize to downsize.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's not the reason you should be downsizing then.
I agree with you. It's not, but you know, other than my license stuff, I've flown this 188. I don't know. It would just be nice to be like I've downsized once. You know.
You don't downsize at all, man.
Yeah, you're right. I don't.
You know? I thought
Maybe.
about upsizing this year, but I can't
Yeah.
afford to buy another canopy.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'm just being stupid, but also there are like weather considerations. If I had a smaller canopy, I could fly in, you know, winds aloft that were faster and maybe not fly backwards. You know.
You gotta. I think you're just thinking about this all the wrong way, man.
Okay, tell me why.
Yeah, I mean, just you gotta look at your wing loading, right? That's the average wing loading is 1-to-1, right, for skydiving.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then once you start,
Which mine is.
yeah, once you start exceeding that, then you get in. You know, then your canopy's going to have more performance, right? You can get
Right.
you can get better performance out of a larger square foot canopy if your wing loading's higher,
Yeah.
right? It's almost the same thing as downsizing.
Right.
So,
Are you telling me I should like avoid my gym membership and just continue to get
man,
fat
no.
so that I don't downsize?
What's your breaks weight?
About 200.
Right now, with your rig, 200.
Right now, no, I've gained some weight, so it'd be like 210.
Okay, so what do you weigh?
Right now, I weigh 185.
Okay, so we're just gonna add 25 pounds. That's about an average.
Yeah.
So it's 210. You divide that by your 188. You're already exceeding a 1-to-1. You're 1.117. Doesn't seem like that much, right? But
that is more. So, since we stopped jumping, I've actually gained about 12 or 13 pounds. So when we were jumping, my wing loading was a 1.06 to 1. So essentially it was 1 to 1.
1.06. What did you weigh when you were jumping? 170.
173.
Let's call it 175. Oh, come on. I don't know how to use this online calculation. Oh, I gotta clear it, that's why. So you're 175 when you're jumping. Divide that by
So that makes it 200
Yeah,
exit weight.
1.063.
Yeah. So that's what it was. So I mean essentially 1 to 1. You know,
That's
I
under
feel,
1 to 1, which is not that bad.
well no, it's a little more than 1 to 1
Or a little over
because
1 to 1, yeah.
yeah. But I mean essentially it's 1 to 1. So, that's why I was saying my wing loading is 1 to 1 because I did get a gym membership and I'm gonna next time I jump I'm gonna weigh 165.
We'll just call you 175. So you want to downsize to a 168.
Yeah, I don't think that that's unreasonable. I mean, just the other day, not the last episode, but the episode before, you wanted me to jump your 170, your WinX. You're
Yeah,
like, you should try my 170.
You should try it.
So, I mean,
The downsize recommendation is no more than 20 square feet, right? That's
Right.
usually about that's kind of the increments that they're built in anyway.
Yeah.
So,
but, if you're saying, hey, you should try my 170,
no, I was just saying, my point was why do you want to downsize? Just to downsize?
just to downside. Yep, that is why.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
and, I'm mature enough to admit that.
Yeah. Well, good on you. You can do whatever you want.
Honestly, I
Yeah.
probably won't. I will likely buy a base rig before I buy a new canopy.
Well, get good at accuracy and stand-up landings. That's your goal next season.
Yeah. Well, like I said,
Canopy.
most of the time I can put it where I want. I just don't always land on my feet. I'm getting there, man. I'm getting there.
Hey, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that.
I'm the new guy here still, so.
Well, anywho. So, what we were going to talk about last time we didn't get to, dirt diving.
Dirt diving.
Yeah, the importance of dirt diving. What do you think the importance of dirt diving is?
Well, it's rehearsal. It's getting everybody on the same page on the ground before you huck it out of a plane and fuck it up. So, it's it I'm a physical learner. I'm not a I have to do it instead of having somebody tell me. So for me, dirt diving is pretty important because if say we're doing a four-way and we're just trying to do a point and grab each other's legs, I got to turn to the right. The guy next to me's got to turn to the right. You can tell me to turn to the right, but I will feel much better about it if we were on the ground and we actually turned to the right and I grabbed that dude's leg. You know what I mean? Like that's just, my brain works better that way.
Yeah, that's it, really. In a nutshell, it's important to dirt dive so you know who's doing what, what's your exit order for your group, who's climbing out, who's floating, who's leaving linked, etc. It's good to just have that plan so you're not on the way up going, well, who's doing what? Who's doing this? Then the door opens, you go, well, are you going? Are you going? And then you're waiting for something. Nobody knows who's doing the exit count. And now you're 20 seconds into your climb out and you're screwing everybody that's getting out last.
Yeah. And I've been on a couple of those jumps, like not a lot, but one or two, where I was just like, what the fuck, guys? Just go. Just fucking go. Because you're ruining everybody else's jump. just fucking go. We fucked it up. Just go. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's good to have a plan. It doesn't always work out, but it's good to have a plan so you know what the intention is, you know, what your climb out order is. And
yeah.
after that, if it works, right?
You know, there was a guy a couple weeks before the season ended. I think his name's Eric. We were doing an episode where I jumped twice and I didn't know a guy's name. I think his name is Eric. I,
He just
I,
got his A license, right?
I think so.
Yeah. I've
I
never
think
met
so.
him. I don't even think I've seen him up there. I
So
just crossed paths with him.
yeah, the only reason that I know his name is because I saw him on Facebook. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy.
Wear
So
glasses,
yes,
short
yeah,
hair, brown,
yep. Tall, kind of skinny, lanky. Yep.
beard.
Do you say beard or
Does he
weird?
have a beard, sort of a beard? Or no, am I wrong?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I might be wrong.
But anyways, one of those jumps, I was the last one out, and I slipped, and
Oh, yeah, you fell.
you know what I mean. And so Eric was jumping behind me by himself on that load, and he thought, oh well, okay, I guess I'm jumping with this guy now because I didn't go, you know. So when we were on the ground,
That's awesome.
yeah, man, I guess I thought we were gonna jump together because you were still in there. And I was like, nah, I just
That's
slipped. And then he was like, oh
I
yeah,
just
then you
fell
went.
down. I just fell down.
Yeah.
You know?
I just slipped.
I'm just the old guy that falls down.
Dude,
But
you have to admit the floor of that plane is slippery, especially if you're wearing like skateboarding shoes. Like they're not very grippy. Like it's slippery. It's slippery.
yeah, it's not meant to be. There's grippers on the step.
I wasn't on the step. I
Like
was
grip
diving out
tape.
the door.
Eric Bushaw.
That sounds right.
Yeah, he's got like a beard, kind of like I do.
Hmm.
Beard, mustache,
All right.
tall,
Fine.
skinny, tallish, skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. But yeah. So
jump with it. But yeah, dirt diving is good.
so
you know,
I have a question about dirt diving. Say you're doing like a big way, like a real big way, like 100 way.
I can try to answer this, but I've never been on a big way.
Okay. Say you need like 4 planes, right, to do this. How do you dirt dive something like that? Do you do it
Oh.
by the plane? Like
No,
4 different.
You're gonna dirt dive it as a group. You know, you're gonna have to pretend you're not gonna have 3 mock-ups, right, or 4 mock-ups.
Right.
So I'm just gonna assume this is assumptions, folks. We can ask people that's been on big ways.
Wait, hold on. Hold on.
Fair enough.
Let me do this real quick. The opinions of Beer, a skydiving podcast, are not necessarily accurate or pertain to anything in reality. So if you
Yeah,
attempt to do anything that we say, you do it at your own risk.
Well, if you're doing a big way, it's assumed that you have your at least a C license, B, C license. You know, you're not going to be doing a big way with an A license.
But I would imagine, so like, you know, say there are 4 planes. So like,
Yeah, if you
Like
ever,
what-
have you ever watched one?
I've watched them in the air. I've never watched it be dirt dive. You know, I've never watched a dirt dive of it.
I mean, they dirt dive it like they would any other skydive. You know, group over here, stage your exit, come out, blah blah blah. You know, everybody's coming in, building whatever they're building first. You know, and then certain groups break and whatever points they're trying to turn, and then they also have a, you know, deployment sequence. You know, who's deploying when.
Right.
And there's some people that deploy low, dirty low.
Were you involved at all in that women's state record that took place at SPA
No,
this year? Do you know
No.
how many people were on it?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
I don't remember what they were trying to do.
I want to say it was like 8 or
Eight?
12, maybe
I think it was 8.
8. 8.
I think it
Okay.
was 8. I think.
Yeah. Okay. That would be an interesting thing to talk about. Maybe for a future episode. Maybe we should get like Steph on because like they got the record, and I know Steph was pretty instrumental in organizing and making that happen. That might be something
Yeah.
cool to talk about, what it takes to do that, just as a side note. But yeah, dirt diving.
I was trying to see what
It's
true
definitely
look.
beneficial um, for me, just because that's the way I learn things, by doing them,
The
not
six
necessarily
way.
by.
Sorry,
But
I was wrong. The 6-way.
oh, it was a 6-way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many points did they turn? Does it
I
say?
don't actually know. Doesn't say. Post doesn't
All
say. I
right.
don't remember. Yeah.
All right.
I guess
Well,
I got it
anyways,
though.
yeah, and you hear 6-way and you think, oh, it's just a 6-way, but
There,
I've never been on a 6-way, and I guarantee you I can't turn points on a 6-way because I can barely turn points on a
you know
3-way.
what? No, I
Like,
lied. I've been not a huge way, but back when I was jumping consistently, like 2013 to 2016, 17, we do a lot of sunset loads where
mhm.
like the plane was full and we'd all build a big wave, 13 jumpers, depending. That was always fun.
Was it like more of a zoo dive and just be like, if you get
Oh no,
together,
we
you
got
get
it.
together, or
It
did
was
you?
always like, yeah, no, it was always the people who stuck around all day, right? And then
Yeah,
the sunset load would be like, the AFF instructors, the TIs, like
yeah.
John
All right.
Ellison, Jerry Ellison, Kush, myself,
Yeah,
other TIs over there, other AFF instructors. It was fun.
man. Like, I really, really, really wish that I would have started doing this 20 years ago, so that I could be on, like, so, just a part of that community where I don't have other responsibilities, and I can just, like, I can hang out there all day, or I could camp out there for a month, and just, I really wish that that's something that I could experience.
Well, you can't.
And like, be able to do
It,
those jumps, be able to do those jumps at the end of the day, when Ellison and Cush and the AFFIs and, like, everybody's
that was a
jumping,
different
you know
time
what I
too,
mean?
right? They don't do that. They don't really do sunset loads anymore, right?
Well, tandem
I don't know if
factory, as
Cleveland
soon
does
as
or
soon as,
not.
as soon as the tandems are done and there isn't enough to fill the plane, that's when it stops.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot more fun jumpers then too.
Yeah,
It was fun.
yeah.
You'll get there though, man. I mean, it takes time, you know.
I just need to be able to bring my kids.
Oh yeah, I mean, I got to
I,
do
c-
it.
I could spend so much more time there if my kids were cool with hanging out all day.
Yeah, I mean, I got to do it because I didn't have a child to be responsible at the time for, you know. So I kind of quit my job and rolled around for a year. Just skydived.
I can't wait until I can do that. Like, I will in 7 years.
Okay.
In seven
How old
years,
are you
my
now?
my youngest will be 18. I'm 41, so I'll be 48. That's still young enough.
I'll be 50,
My
maybe.
youngest will be 18 and in college, and Eric and I are just gonna travel, and I'm just gonna jump off shit. That's what I'm
Cool.
gonna do.
That sounds like a really good plan. I like
I
it a
can't tell if
lot.
you're being serious or not.
No, that sounds good. That sounds awesome.
I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Do you have an RV yet?
No, but that will either be part of what happens, or we will just go to places that have really nice hotels nearby.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, the wife will be around. So
You're gonna be glamping.
Have you actually ever been glamping? Like legitimate glamping?
Yeah,
Have you?
like
Uh,
with a camper and stuff.
no, 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 no. Like at one of those like resort campgrounds where
No,
no. So
no,
so
man.
hear
The most
hear
I've ever done is actually go camping and sleep in a camper.
so hear
You
me
know,
out.
that's glamping to me.
Dude, I was in the infantry. Anything that's not just a sleeping bag on the ground is glamping.
Yeah.
But hear me out. So we took all the kids. This must have been 4 or 5 years ago. Um, Out to Montana, and we did like Yellowstone, and
Oh, that's awesome.
my wife's family's from Montana, so her dad's from Billings, her mom um, is from Melrose, and like the only thing in Melrose is a ranch, and her family owns that ranch.
That's awesome.
Like that is Melrose. Like there's the ranch and a restaurant. They also own the restaurant. Like that that's it. It's a ranch and a restaurant and a gas station that never has gas. Like that's
Out
Melrose.
of fuel.
Yeah. So um we we took all the kids out there to visit family, and while we were there we were going to do Yellowstone, and so we went glamping near Yellowstone, and it was in like these enormous tents with like log cabin style beds and heaters and like a stove and like Christmas lights all over the place, so it looked all pretty and shit.
Yeah.
And it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was awesome. It was super cool, but it definitely was not camping. The only part about it that was camping is when you walked out the front door and like the Rocky Mountains were in front of you.
Yeah, that's
You
pretty
know,
cool. Though.
like yeah, that was about it. But glamping,
Yeah, I
it's
never
kind
done
of
that.
nice. It's kind of nice.
Camper's about the best glamp I've ever done. Other than that, it's 1 or 2 man tent, sleeping bag,
Whatever you can carry. Yep,
pillow.
that's
Sometimes I would sleep in my Jeep.
yeah, yeah. I uh, I do have to give it to Erica. When we went on our honeymoon, we went to Maine, and we drove my truck and we camped out in the back of it, under the cap,
Yeah.
and we went to Acadia National Park. But then after that, we went up to Millinocket, Maine, and we camped there for like a week, and we did whitewater rafting, and that's where we did tandem jumps. And I have to give her credit. We slept in the back of the truck. We cooked over a campfire. We actually used a knife that I made on the way up there. Like I forged a knife with a buddy of mine that we stopped at. Like
Nice.
it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, camping kind of goes in hand in hand with skydiving, base jumping, I think. Right.
Base jumping for sure, I think.
But people camp out at drop zones all the time.
Well, yeah, but
Yep.
I don't think most people do. You know, that's the really dedicated people. That's the people that bought the unlimited jump package. That's the people that don't have kids. That's the people who,
People that work there.
yeah, people that work there. Yeah, I don't think that's most people.
Wow. Some DZs you can't camp out. It just depends on what airport they're part of or located or what the town
Yeah,
has to say about it, etc.
yeah.
But
I guess this was before my time, but I guess Cleveland used to allow camping, and
yeah, you
then
used to be able to, and then the city shut it down for some reason, just to be pricks.
well they got it back.
Did they
Yeah, so
this
I
year?
guess starting next year they
Oh,
can
nice,
they can have a certain number of campers and a certain number of tents, or
nice, dude.
some something like that, some mixture of
Yeah,
camping
well,
is
that's
allowed.
cool.
I
Yeah,
don't know
dude.
exactly what the stipulations are, but camping is allowed again.
Yeah, that's probably one of the reasons I didn't go out there. I haven't gone out there yet either. It's an hour and 45 minute drive, right? I'm gonna go out for the weekend. I don't really want to pay for a hotel.
Yeah,
I really use that money for one gas to get there and two jumps.
Yep. Yep.
So I could just camp in the truck or tent. Boom.
Yeah.
Bob's your uncle. Sweet.
Yeah. It's an hour and a half for me to get there, and it's about an hour and 15 minutes for me to get to SPA. So
Yeah,
like
so it's
they're
like right in the middle. Yeah, it's only like 45 more minutes for me, right? It's like 50, so it's like an hour and 25, I think. Something like that, hour and a half. God, IPA is like 50 minutes, 50 to 55 minutes for me. And it's like an hour and 30 minutes, I think. It's an extra 40 minutes or something like that. Not too bad.
you know what I think we need to do?
I don't.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Let's
I
hear it.
think I think that you and B and your kid and her kid or kids, she have one or two.
One
One. Okay.
stepdaughter,
Um,
too.
should move to Erie.
Yeah, what's funny about it,
And
he's like, just tell Brian to move to Pittsburgh.
listen, I'm not done. Um, and then we'll start a drop zone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Uh, I know pilots. Like,
Yeah.
all we need is a 182. There's a grass strip 15 minutes away from my house where there used to be a drop zone at that closed 3 years ago.
You got to hire a tandem instructor?
Well, I mean, maybe eventually, but it could just start out as a fun jumper thing because it's got to be a Cessna drop zone. Like we can't, we're not,
Yeah,
we're,
it's
we're
expensive.
we're not getting anything more than Cessnas off that grass strip. But you know, start out as a fun jumper drop zone, and then we could move on from there. But like maybe one tandem per load or something. It's not going to be a tandem factory, but like I've
As
got
long
people
as you
that
got
are
a way
that are
that it's
willing
going to
to fly. All we need is a 182 or a 206 or a 180. We could do it, man. We could
as
do
long
it.
as you have it figured out to where it breaks even or makes money, then you're fine.
Break even. That's all I want to do. Break even. I don't give a shit about making money. I just want to break even. I'm
Well,
serious.
then go for it.
Well,
There's
I
still a
feel
lot of
like
Cessna drop zones around.
what's that?
There's still a lot of Cessna drop zones around.
Well, yeah, of course there are. Yeah, but I mean, also let's be honest. The reason why everyone loves Cleveland is because they have that Blackhawk Caravan, and they can throw 14 fun jumpers out of it, and it gets up to altitude super fast. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think the reason that people, I don't want to, for a lack of better words, put up with Skydive Pennsylvania is because of the King Air. Like, it gets you up there real fast. While there are going to be some tandems on there, but you can throw, 8 fun jumpers out or some AFF students or whatever as well. And, the loads don't turn like super fast, but like they turn fast enough that, makes it worth going there.
If it's a full day, man, they're turning loads. They're doing 3 loads an hour at least. 3 loads an hour.
Yeah, but as a fun jumper, you can't get on 2 of those loads an hour. You know what I mean? Like, the
Uh, if you got a turn rig, you could, I think.
well, yeah, if you have a turn rig, but I don't have a turn rig, so that
Yeah.
means I'm jumping once like every hour and a half. You know what I mean? Because you
Yeah.
gotta pack and then you gotta manifest. So
If you're lucky,
usually what that means for me is I get 2,
maybe 3.
maybe 3 jumps a day if I'm really lucky. You know what I mean? But you go to a place like Cleveland, you can get 5 jumps a day super easy, because they're putting more fun jumpers on than they are tandems. But that's neither here nor there. It doesn't matter. But if you guys need to move to Erie, is where we're going with this.
Yeah.
And next year, let's start a drop zone. Let's start a Cessna drop zone, and
You're
we'll just
getting in
jump.
the weeds
We'll
with
just
your
jump.
ultimate goal here.
Uh,
You're going way off into the weeds, bro.
my ultimate goal of
What was your ultimate goal for starting this whole thing?
wingsuit base jumping.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
you better, if you want to do that, you better focus a little bit more than, hey, I'm just going to start a drop zone next year. Yeah, man. Like,
Well, so you could look at it that way, but you could also look at it as I am providing myself with the opportunity to
Hey, if you got the funds to do that, then sure.
be able to progress. You know, like you can throw a wingsuit out of a Cessna.
I've done it.
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
I could certainly jump many more times per day in Erie than I could in Cleveland or Grove City.
Well, especially if you owned a plane
Yeah,
and you have a hangar to put it in.
yeah.
I don't know what the
Dude, all I gotta do is
requirements
buy the
are.
plane. All I gotta do is buy the plane. I've got the A&P. I've got the hangar. I've got pilots. Like we're good. All I need is a plane.
Sweet.
I'm serious.
Well, that's go for it, dude.
Well, that and I guess people.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You
Yeah,
need
I need people.
You need a pilot. If you already got a pilot, cool.
No,
But then
I've got a
you gotta
handful
have
of pilots.
you gotta have people.
Yeah,
Are
gotta
there
have
jump
people to
pilots
jump out of
now?
it to break even. Yeah, that's true.
Have they flown jump planes?
Yeah, it used to be a skydiving drop zone until 2 or 3 years ago. Um, I guess it, people lost interest in skydiving or just
Yeah,
stopped
moved on.
or
Yeah.
died or something. Like, got old. I don't know.
Yeah, skydiving is kind of like that, right? People come and go. Not
Yeah,
necessarily just die off, but some people get into it, jump for a couple of years, and then they just get out of it. You
yeah.
know,
I
they're the
I only know of
volunteers.
I only know of one other skydiver here in Erie, and he didn't even show up last year, like at all.
Oh, really? Who
Um,
was that?
Mike Stegmeyer. He was like
Sounds familiar.
really close to getting his A license. All he needed to do was the packing class, um, and then just stopped. Just he like I didn't see him once this year, and we only live like 5 minutes away from each other. Like I used to give him rides down the drop zone and stuff. Like
Huh?
when the
He just
season
lost interest.
started. Yeah, I guess when the season started, I asked him. I was like, "Hey man, you want me to pick you up? Let's go jump." He's like, "Nah, I'm good."
I'm
Whatever.
good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
but to each their own. But
Hmm.
I if you think about it, there are drop zones in Buffalo. There's drop zones in Cleveland. There's drop zones towards Pittsburgh. Those are like the three big cities, right? Erie is begging for a drop zone or a tunnel, something. Like we're right in between all these people that jump. You know what I mean?
There you go. Get 100 grand buy into the tunnel franchise.
I've
Little
heard so
tunnel.
many bad things about iFly and just like the way it operates. I don't think I could do that. It sounds like a
Yeah.
tandem factory for tunnels, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Well, recreational flyers have right of way during the weekend and not
Well, yeah,
skydivers.
they pay more money, so yeah, tandem factory.
I mean,
You
it's
know,
a business, right?
it is, yes, and you
Don't
can't
blame them, I guess.
you can't at all. Like it's a business, you got to make your money. If that's how you make your money, then fine. Like you cannot fault anybody
Yeah.
for doing that. You know what I mean? Um, not at all.
Well, let's talk about one more thing before we end this episode. It's
All
from
right, what do
this.
you got?
It's from this month's parachutist, so it's out of the safety and training section in the incident report. I just wanted to bring it up because I feel like a lot of people don't uh, disclaim their, what do they call it, disabilities necessarily,
Injuries or lack of
or
something.
conditions, so that they
All
can
right.
skydive, etc.
So,
So yeah,
but before we get too far into this, I just want everybody to know I have not gotten my issue yet. Joe has, so he has read this article. I have not. So we're
yeah.
gonna
So this month's issue has an incident report involving a 44-year-old female total skydives. Two, she was doing the IED program, um, and basically, I'll give you the cliff notes. Uh, Her exit was fine. The IED instructor, waited till her canopy was open and fully inflated canopy before he exited himself. The crazy part about it is after he exited, he had a pilot chute in tow that he had to fix.
Doing an
So
IAD, so he's only like 5,500
I
with the
think is
pilot
what they were
shooting
getting
tow.
at. Yeah. So he fixed it, and then he turned himself towards the students, and this woman was still, under a good flying canopy, and the ground crew running radio said she was initially responsive to the first set of directions, for turning, etc. And then, they turn like they normally do. They'll turn to the next channel, and be like, "Okay, start heading this way. Head south. Make a right turn. Practice flare. Blah blah blah." So, but then when he turned back to redirect this student, she was basically under spinning line twists. So they weren't really sure of what caused it.
Yeah.
So the instructor actually watched her spin the whole way into the ground. She did not survive. She
But
passed
you
away.
did say she was under a good, fully
Yeah,
inflated flying
she was
canopy.
responding. Yeah,
Okay.
responding to the directions from the ground crew, radio
All
crew.
right. All right.
Um, so then the instructor realized that she was under spinning, and she just kept spinning and kept spinning and kept spinning. So he kind of, I guess he flew over and was trying to scream, cut away, and he said that she looked like she was limp, and I'm like, oh, she must have had a heart attack or something, or who
Passed
knows?
out or
Yeah,
incapacitated in some way.
yeah. So um, the main was cut away by EMTs. So doing a conclusive investigation of that is out the window, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So that everything gets cut and pulled away.
So
So,
she just spun it into the ground.
well, the crucial aspect of the incident analysis is the discovery of the student's history of seizures, which are family disclosed after the incident happened. So she basically had what was called a grand mal seizure,
Yeah. All
and
right.
the way they determined that or came to a conclusion of that is her tongue was swollen.
Yeah, you could tell. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so she had a seizure, and if anybody out there doesn't know what grand mal seizure is, it makes your muscles basically extremely stiff, tension up, and jerky, and
Yep.
I threw her into line twists, and
So like
eventually,
if you think about flying in free fall, flying your body, essentially what she did was she had that seizure and it made her limbs or whatever do whatever they
yeah,
did
one of
to
her hands
start
did a toggle input or something. It just made
causing her to
you
twist
know,
up.
yeah,
Yeah.
spin real fast and then let it up. If you let up real fast, that can cause line twists, and then
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
and
Yep.
then when she finished the seizure, she was still unconscious, right, and just unfortunately spun into the ground. So you should probably disclose if you have any conditions.
Well, it's on the waiver, right? It's on
Yeah,
the waiver.
yeah, she did not disclose. So I just wanted to bring that up because I was like, oh man, like people will
Yeah.
just, people will do that because they want to skydive bad enough, right?
So that actually hits kind of close to home because um, before I started skydiving, I was flying airplanes, and being retired, I have a lot of time on my hands, and I got my medical. It was approved, and then after the AME, the Aviation Medical Examiner, examines you in person, he
Mhm.
says yes or no, and then it gets sent off to the FAA,
Yeah,
and then the FAA looks at it again, right? But the time between when you see the doctor in person and the time that the FAA looks at it could be 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
So I got the okay to fly, and I finished. I started and finished getting my private pilot's license in the time
Yeah.
that my medical was being reviewed. So
Process for the
I-
the FAA.
I received from the FAA a pilot certificate. I received a good medical certificate from the AME. I'm a pilot, right? Like, I'm flying airplanes.
Hell yeah.
And then during the time that I saw the AME to the time that the FAA reviewed my medical application, they made a change. So
To what?
to an allowable medication.
Oh, see, that's
Mhm.
such bullshit.
So I disclosed to my AME that I was taking Botox for migraines.
Oh yeah.
And then during the time,
That's a unacceptable medication.
not for migraine mitigation. It's okay for cosmetic reasons. You can be a pilot and have Botox for like to make yourself prettier, but you cannot have Botox for migraine mitigation and be a pilot. And that happened.
How does that affect your physical ability to
It
fly a
doesn't.
plane or your mental
It doesn't.
ability to? Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
So I
any person that you like. Go ahead. I'll let you finish. I'm sorry.
So the reason that I even have to have the Botox is because I was injured in a car bombing in Iraq. I have a
Mhm.
traumatic brain injury, and
Can't you?
a
Sorry to interrupt
consequence of
again, but
that
can't you
is
get?
is
Can't you
migraines.
get like what's called like a deference, a special issuance?
You can, but not if it's because of a medication that the FAA says is a no-go.
That's not what I was told.
There
So I was gonna
are
get my.
there
I
are
was gonna get
circumstances
my
for
TI last
deference and
year.
things like that.
Yeah, I was gonna get my TI rating last year.
You
And-
need a third-class medical.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Which
so I was all
Yeah.
I wanted was a third-class medical. So
Yeah.
that's what I applied for, and they're like, "Nope, Botox."
Yeah, well, it's better to disclose it because if you don't, and then they find your medical records and find out, then you're kind of in deep shit.
Yeah, yeah, but
And you get
man,
fined and all kinds of shit.
it sucked so much. Like, I was
Yeah.
flying planes around, like it was awesome. It was so cool. I'd go
You
rent a
did?
plane. I'd fly it to like Niagara Falls, or Eric, my wife and I would go for flights and like
Do you still
watch the
do you think you
sunset and
could go
shit.
back to somebody and try to get a deference?
Not
Special
anymore
issuance?
because the FAA has access to all of my medical records.
Okay. Well, what if you just stopped taking Botox? You found something else.
The only other thing that worked well was medical marijuana, and you can't smoke marijuana and be a pilot.
Goddamn FAA. They're just for no fun, please. Holy shit.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just screwed. But that was the whole thing. Like, I don't even know how we got onto this, but
Because the woman not disclaiming her seizure disability or seizure condition through going through an IED.
Yeah, so say I was flying a plane and a migraine poked through, which has never happened in 5 years. I haven't had a migraine in 5 years because of the Botox. But say one poked through and I was unable to pilot the aircraft as a result and landed it into, a building of people. Like that is their argument.
Akbar style.
Yeah, their argument is there could be that situation where things don't work the way they're supposed to and you kill a bunch of people. That
could happen to anybody that could get a migraine.
Exactly.
Anybody could get a headache.
Exactly. That 0.001% chance is the reason I'm not allowed to fly an airplane.
They revoked your license.
Yep.
Man, that's some bullshit.
I agree with you. It is. I was so pissed off.
They
I
used
fought I
to,
fought for 2 years. I fought the FAA for 2 years
yeah,
trying to like reverse it. And they're like, nah, fuck you.
dickheads. Well,
And
uh,
and that was
antidepressants used to be on that list too, like any SSRI or something
a
like,
lot of them
all of
are,
that.
yeah.
They're
Like
not anymore.
Lexapro and shit.
Not
Um,
anymore. Prozac's on the allowable list. There's a bunch of other
yep,
stuff that's
yep.
um, I couldn't
My
get.
my CFI at the time was taking Lexapro, and he lost his license because he was taking Lexapro, and I had to
But even
finish. I had to finish flying, learning how to fly with somebody else, because my CFI lost his medical.
fucking what the. Why are the FAA making medical decisions? I mean, especially after you've already went to an actual doctor. Like you've
Yeah,
seen an actual doctor to get the physical, and you've disclosed all your medical history and information to them,
yeah,
and then
and he's
some
like,
asshole
"You're
in a
good."
suit that's never flown or maybe flown,
Yep.
but some asshole in a suit that's not a doctor, and goes, "Oh, this is
Nope, can't
no, no,
happen.
no, no, no."
And that's the reason I can never be a TI. I can't get a third class medical.
Yeah, I can't get it either because I take Adderall for ADHD. I have severe
Yeah,
ADHD, man. It
yeah.
just
So
sucks.
they won't let you do
It's
it.
like,
Isn't that
yeah.
fucked up? Isn't that so
But
fucked up?
mine, they got the physician or whatever, the FA, doctor that was gonna do my physical. He swore up and down. He's like, I think we can get you a special issuance, and I'm like, you know what, man, it's not worth it for me. Like, and I'm not gonna stop taking it.
There are situations where you can get special issuances,
Yeah,
but mine isn't one of them.
Adderall, I think is a ridiculous one to be on the list because if anything, it enhances your focus and your alertness and your
Right.
mental
Exactly,
capability.
right?
It
Like,
does
yeah,
not. It does
you're not
not.
gonna be fucking off. Yeah,
It,
no,
yeah, it does
no.
not inebriate your physical or mental ability at all.
Yeah. So you know what really sucks about mine was that I knew that there was a possibility that I couldn't get a medical.
Yeah,
So what I did was I went through ground school. I passed ground school, and then once I passed ground school, I went to the AME, and I got checked off. I was like, I'm good to go. But what you don't have to do that until the very end of your actual 40 hours of flying. So
yeah,
I did it first. And I was like, if he says no, I don't even want to start flying. You know what I mean? But he said
yeah,
yes. He said yes. He's
yeah.
like, you're good to go. So I
But
went
if you would have
through.
said you took Botox for cosmetic reasons,
It would have been fine.
even if they looked at your medical records and said, "Oh, he's got Botox,"
Yep, it would have been fine.
but
If it was because I had wrinkles in my forehead that I didn't like, it would have been fine. But look at my forehead. I can't even make wrinkles in it.
that's the Botox,
That's
bro.
it. That's it. That is the
Yeah.
Botox.
This is me smiling. This is me frowning. This is me excited.
Yeah, and actually, I have to get it again, which is why I can raise my eyebrows as much as I can.
Yeah.
That's pretty rare.
There's been a few people I know that said Botox works great for migraines.
Oh, it works awesome. Dude, I had a migraine from 2005 until 2019. Like, not a migraine, but like every single day I had headaches. From the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep, I had headaches. Sometimes they were migraines, but constantly a headache. Like, I've been hospitalized, like, like from 2005 until 2019, I had a headache
Yeah.
of varying degrees,
Yeah.
right? As soon as I started Botox, literally within 4 days, I haven't had a headache since.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
That's awesome.
amazing.
Do you have tinnitus
Yes.
from the bombing and stuff and being in the
Yep.
military?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have tinnitus just from
It's
loud
not
shit.
constant, but
Oh, mine is all the time. I can hear it right now. I just
oh
ignore it.
yeah. No,
It's like,
mine
"Ooh."
yeah. No,
Yeah,
mine is not constant, but I would say 3 or 4 times a week I'll have the ringing for like a couple hours a day. You know,
Oh, no,
maybe
mine's
maybe
constant.
2 or 3
Like all
hours.
the time. And every
Yeah,
once in a while, this one will ring so I'll call it loud. It'll ring so loud that I can't hear anything in
yeah,
this ear. Then it
yeah,
goes back. But it's,
yeah.
so we were talking about it. Were we talking about it? Or somebody mentioned tinnitus like a week or so ago, and I'm like,
I don't think it was
damn
you
it!
and
I
I.
finally I'd forgotten about it again for a while, and then this person brought it up, and now it's
Brought
all I
it.
can
Now you
hear
can
is
hear it.
goddamn tinnitus.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I almost feel like I would rather have it be constant because
I've kind of yeah. I mean, if I'm
then
like
you
we're
could
talking about it,
ignore
so
it.
I'm conscious of it, right? I can hear it.
Yeah. But since mine is like 3 or 4 days a week, only for a couple hours a day,
Yeah,
like when it comes on, it's all I hear.
yeah.
You know, and then
So
it goes away,
that's
and
a
then
good
I'm
point. We're
good.
talking
But
about disclosing stuff like that. If you do not have tinnitus and you are an avid skydiver, I recommend you wear earplugs because you can develop tinnitus from the airplane ride and the free fall. I'm
it is
100%
loud.
positive that is what contributed to mine. That is not 100% reason why. I always listen to my music extremely loud. I've been around explosions that were loud without hearing. I've shot guns without hearing protection. And skydiving certainly did not help because it is loud,
It
whether
is
you
loud.
realize it or not. It's like it's loud. You just think about it
Yep.
next time you're on your ascent to exit altitude. How loud you talk to the person beside you because the plane is so loud. You
Yep.
know
Well, I mean
that's how loud it is.
that's the reason I can't hear people in the airplane. You know, like it
I've
seems
learned to
like,
read lips a lot. Like,
oh, I'm real good at reading lips, but you're wearing
hey,
a
yeah,
helmet. Like I can't see your lips most of the time.
yeah,
You know, especially if
yeah,
it's a full face helmet. But um, I remember this specifically with Cole last year. Him and I were jumping. We were both sitting on the floor, you know, off the benches because there wasn't any room. And him and I were trying to talk. And every single time he said something to me, I had to turn to him and I had to say that again louder.
yeah,
Like, say that. I
yeah.
didn't hear what you said, man. Like,
Yeah, man, just the plane's loud enough. So, like, if you don't have any hearing damage or, you're young, I recommend. I mean, I do sometimes. Other times, I'll wear my AirPods so that I listen to music when I'm on a canopy and shit. That's fun. And on
I
the
don't
way up,
I don't think I could get my helmet on with AirPods in.
this helmet's. I used to use uh, a pair called clips that were wired a long time ago,
Mm.
and they were the greatest, man. Like they fit my ear perfect. They had great like noise canceling and bass. Like I could just all I could hear was the music. That's probably part of the reason I have tinnitus. But
I
I would recommend wearing earplugs if you don't like just on the ride up and for free fall. Because if you do it a lot,
yeah,
you could more likely eventually develop tinnitus, and
yeah.
your ears will just ring all the time.
I just got those Ray-Ban Meta glasses,
Yeah,
and one of the not yet. I'm not wearing them yet because I have to get lenses put in them, prescription lenses. But one of the big things was, can I fit these because they're thicker? Like, you know,
yeah,
the arms are thicker. They're not huge, but they're thicker. Um, can I get these on my face with my skydiving helmet on? So I can, but man, is it hard. Like
yeah, dude.
like I have to put the helmet on, and then like I'm like wiggling them around
Yeah,
my ears.
that's how tight my helmet is because I use it with the face shield off for base too. Just
Yeah,
because you have that face protection, right?
over
Everybody's
your
like, "What are you
chin.
wearing
Yeah,
that for? Why aren't you wearing a POC or something? Wearing this?"
I don't want to
Just,
bite my tongue off.
yeah, or I don't want to smash my chin into. Some people don't think about that too. That's
Yeah,
you have that extra chin face protection.
yeah.
But I mean, I'm coming down on anybody that doesn't wear that.
Well,
I
to
actually
each
just
their
switched
own.
to that
Like,
this year. I always just jumped to POC, right? Just the
yeah,
or a plain helmet. And
yeah.
I'm like, you
I
know
mean,
what?
you don't
I'm gonna
have to wear
start
a
taking
helmet.
the. This is true.
There's no
You don't have to.
reason. Like once you're licensed, and in base jumping, there aren't licenses, right?
Yeah. No,
Yeah, you don't
there
have
are
to wear a helmet. Like,
there are no rules in base jumping. There is, however,
yeah,
etiquette.
Yeah.
And if you want to jump with certain people, you should probably follow some certain,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
types of etiquette.
All right.
Um,
We have another episode to record, right?
yeah, or we could call it.
I don't know,
Up to
bro.
you.
I think since we were able to start early tonight, we should do another one.
All right.
Especially since you're going to Brazil and we're gonna need an episode for when you're gone.
Yeah. All right. Well, folks, disclose your medical history. Chances are that it won't be a problem.
No,
if
chances
it
are you're
is-
gonna get fucked.
Or
Like
you could
both of
die.
us.
or you could die. Yeah. Or honestly, you could kill someone else.
Yeah.
Not
So-
on purpose.
But and I don't think that I said this, but when I said it hits close to home, it's because I have this thing that is fine, like so far 100% of the time. But maybe I'm flying a plane, and maybe it's that one time where it's not fine, and I kill a bunch of people and crash an airplane, just like this lady. That one time, she just happened to be under a canopy and she died.
She had a seizure.
You know, like that is possible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not just plausible.
It sucks after spending
Confirmed.
$10,000 to become a pilot, only for the FAA
Yeah,
to be like,
that's
"No,
special,
fuck you, you're not a pilot anymore." But
Yeah.
you know, whatever.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. If you actually listened, if we even have any listeners anymore.
We're going down. We're going down, bro.
Yeah, I know.
But hey, you can still get a
Is everybody laughing at us because we suck?
You're gonna have to show me how to do that. We've still got those shields, visors, right?
Oh yeah.
So we did get an email, but it was not from a listener. So you know, we've still got the tinted extra large cookie G4 visor, and Joe, you have a clear. You said.
No, I have a tinted one, but it's a large visor. It has a little scratch on it, but I bought it off of somebody. That's how it was.
All right, so tinted large,
It does not, yeah. Does not affect
slightly
your visual
used.
at all. Yeah.
First person to email us,
With something to talk about.
you know, get something for free. Or you want to be on the show, we'll have you on the show. You can ask a question live. It'll be cool. You know, whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
all right. I also think we could do better at like sharing the show and stuff. I don't think we do a very good job of that. So,
Well,
you know, whatever.
Work on it. Until next time.
Blue
Follow
skies.
us on all the stuff, right? All the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah. All right.
See ya.